What's up, friends? Paul here, and in this video we're going to be talking about one of my favorite productivity apps, Sunsama. I just discovered this app recently and I am a super fan. If at any point in this video you want to try Sunsama, be sure to use the link in my description. It's my affiliate link, which I believe will give you a 30-day free trial, so be sure to check that out. I've been using Sunsama for over a month now and I love using it. It's one of those apps that you enjoy using versus I have to use that app that they gave me to use. Stay tuned as I share some of my favorite features of Sunsama and one of my big problems with Sunsama. So perhaps you're like me and you love planning and keeping yourself organized, but you want to find the right tool to do it. And I've tried many different tools, and by far Sunsama is one of my absolute favorites. So here are my 3 criteria for a good productivity tool. Number 1, does it have a good user experience? Does it have a good interface for you to interact with? Is it easy to use, or do you get frustrated with it? Because honestly, if it's something that you don't enjoy using, you're probably going to end up hating it in the long run. Number 2, does it have a good system to help you stay organized and stay on top of your most important things that you need to do? Not only that, because I think a good productivity tool doesn't just help you do more, it helps you do the right things. And number 3, is the price right? So stick around and we'll dive into all of that. So now we're ready to dive into Sunsama. So here we go. Right away, you'll notice the minimalist design. It's very easy to see where your tasks are. You can estimate the time that it will take. You see the 30 minutes, 3 hours. And the neat thing is it adds it up so that you'll see their total remaining time. I can actually change that. I can toggle that so that I see, okay, this is the actual time versus the planned time. So right now I'm underestimating how much time things will take. However, I haven't completed all of what I've done so far. And then I can also toggle again and see the time remaining. So I feel like that's a very useful tool that you can use to see how much time is left in your day, what things you might need to push to the next day, and so forth and so on. And it automatically just adds that time real quickly. And then you can see this. I love the progress bar. The progress bar is awesome. So you can see 3 tasks remaining and the times. So right now I'm actually filming the YouTube video. So I can go in here and hit this plus button or hit space bar and it starts it for me. And I love this focus mode because you have no distractions. You don't have to see what's coming up in the week. You're like, okay, right now, the only thing I'm going to be doing is recording this YouTube video. You can easily add tasks. So maybe I'm going to have to create a thumbnail later in Photoshop. So once I take all those photos, I'm going to have to edit them and bring them into Photoshop. Let's say I'm going to take an hour to do that. So you can plan that out and it just works great for planning things out. And so let's say I want to take a break. So notice the time right here, 12:50. I'm going to take a break. So it just pauses that timer and we're brought into this short break. So I can go run, grab a snack maybe, and then I'm going to stop this and it goes right back here. And then I can resume the task and it picks up right where we left. So very minimalistic, very simple to use. Let's say you want to add a task to Thursday. We're going to have lunch with Batman. So we want to make sure that we don't forget that. And you've got your calendar view. So this is a task view. This is a great bird's eye view of week. So I can actually toggle between views, which is really nice with these channels. So I have one set up for business and personal, and you can break the business into subgroups so that I've got one for my podcast and one for the YouTube channel. And then I can see both at the same time, and or all of the business ones. So that's like a catch-all for business. And so it's just really convenient. And then you can see all of them. That way, if you need to just work on, your work, you don't want to see your personal tasks right now, it's a great way to, get rid of the clutter. And then we go to the calendar view, and here you'll see basically the whole week. And what I love is they make it so easy for you to add things to your tasks. So right now, this isn't in my task, but I know that I'm going to have to do this later. So I'm just going to hit add to tasks. and boom, it's in my tasks now. I can add the channel. So this is for the YouTube channel. Done. It just makes it super easy to bring in, things that you already have on your calendar. Maybe you just jotted it down real quick and you need to bring it in. You can do that. And there it is right there. And I'm going to say this is going to take, let's say an hour. Perfect. So that's already there. One of the neat features is that they have these rituals. They have a daily ritual in the morning and in the evening, basically for you to plan your day, and then also for you to wrap up the day and just kind of have a peaceful way of finishing up the day. I think what makes Sunsama unique is it has more of a meaningful way of estimating your time and kind of tracking how much time you spend on it so that you can focus on your most important tasks and realize maybe you're planning too much for the day and that's just not realistic, so you're gonna have to push it off to the next day. And so let me show you that in the planning view. So I'm actually gonna go back so you can see what it looks like. So last Friday, it's just this, peaceful way of planning your day. It's like slows you down. So this is what I did, I guess, last Friday. This is how much time it took. And so they actually put like kind of guidelines to your day. So like 6 hours, is a good probably amount of time to work. 8 hours, you're kind of pushing it. You should probably stick between 6 and 8 hours. It's not about working more. It's about working more effectively. And that's kind of like the philosophy behind the app, which I think is very important so that you can pay attention to those things that matter. So, and then this brings up today. And this is a great way to see your weekly objectives. And this is another ritual that I'll show you in a little bit, but you can see what things that you have going on. So this is actually a personal, so I'm gonna make that under my personal goals, TBM show. And what you can do is like, let's say this wasn't here already. Let me just delete this real quick. I can actually just drag in, read a book, and it automatically shows that it's aligned with my target, this little purple target. So I can actually go in here and just like add it. So like right now, this isn't one of my targets. Let's say this is a big thing that I want to complete this week. I can turn it into a weekly objective and then it's there. And so when I check this off, it shows that I worked on it today. And then once I maybe that was one part of it, maybe there's multiple steps. And then once I get the whole project done, maybe it's a whole course, I check that off. And like everything else, you got a little project bar up top. So I'm super excited about this weekly view. I hope in the future that they might add quarterly goals and maybe a year goal. That way you can have bigger picture goals that you can work towards and you can see how you're progressing towards them. And then you can actually fill in calendar events. So if you have any calendar events, you can actually click and then add one event and then you have it as a task. So if you have any tasks or meetings, you can just add them right here, select the channel that they belong to, done. Super easy. And then you can see the calendar right here. So you can actually drag. So let's say I want to read a book later this evening. Boom, done. So maybe after work, I want to go ice fishing. Maybe it's a work trip. So I'm going to estimate it's going to take 6 hours to book the flight and everything. Maybe I'm meeting a client to go ice fishing. So let's say I'm going to leave at 5 p.m. today. And you'll see that it already blocks off that 6 hours for me. And then you'll notice that this work is becoming orange. And so let me add another work thing. So let's say we're adding a sales page and that's going to take 3 hours. And you'll notice it becomes kind of red. And so as you add more to your day, it kind of warns you. You're using up your energy, you're using up your limited resources, so be careful. But it just makes it real easy for you to drag and drop right onto your calendar, and it automatically syncs with Google Calendar. So everything that you add here is there. Not only does Sunsama integrate with your Google Calendar, so any of these tasks I can find in my calendar, but it also integrates with Asana, ClickUp, and a few others. I can probably show you a little bit more later on, but they also have this backlog feature. So let's say today I want to find the meaning of life. I can just drag that in to my day. and then you can have archive. And the beauty of the archive, it automatically happens after 4 consecutive days. Like if it's rolled over enough and you're not getting to it, it's probably a sign that either you're not going to do it or you just need to reschedule it for a later time. So it automatically just puts it in here for you to drag in later, which is really convenient. And you can turn this feature off if you don't want it to auto archive, but I think it's nice. So, and then you go next. And like I said, they want to make you be realistic about how much you can do in a day. So it says bump back tasks that aren't essential for you to get to today. So it says it's unrealistic. So try not to plan more than 8 hours of work per day. So defer work to tomorrow. It just like automatically moves some of the things, and I can move more. Let's say the sales page, because I guess it automatically moved what wasn't scheduled. So that's convenient that like if you already have it on your calendar, it's not moving, but you can do it yourself. Let's say, okay, sales page, it was scheduled for today. I can move it to the next day. And then I really want to film this YouTube video today since I'm actually doing that. So again, I'm going to start that timer. It stopped it when it moved it, I guess. That looks like a good day now. Let's see if it's happy. So it's good. And it says finalize your plan for today. And it looks good. Arrange your tasks in order that you want to complete them. So maybe I want to go to CrossFit first in the day. Next, film my YouTube video, go ice fishing. And obviously you wouldn't have these completed tasks already unless you started this before you plan your day. And I want to have this daily shutdown, which is really nice. It just like automatically comes up and allows you to plan the shutdown. And I'll show you what the shutdown looks like. Add to calendar. So now you'll see it added it right there. It looks good. And this is convenient. So let's say you're working in a team and you want to know what everyone's working on. You can just write out your plan for today and then you can post it right into Slack. Maybe there was one that I think they had where you could add like obstacles for the day so that you could list out, okay, I know that I'm going to face some obstacles for today. And then maybe you can make some realistic changes so that you can do it better. Like maybe your phone is distracting you. So you can go ahead and move your phone to another room. So if you want to share with your team what you're working on, you can just post it to Slack. But if you're ready to get started, you can just hit the get started. You can also skip this step in the future if that's something that you want to just not do. And so you're ready for the day. And let's say you're done with the day, you can do the wrap up. So this is today in review. It shows you basically how much time you spent on certain things. You can see the breakdown and the things that you didn't get to. So like I didn't go ice fishing, and so it just shows you right there. So and then you might be wondering like, what does it do now that I haven't done these things? So I can go to next and I can write down things that were good, and then you can wrap up and then it says done for the day. And you can close that, or maybe you just leave the computer there and you get, come back the next day. The next day you'll just pick up where you left and plan it and move over any tasks that you need to from the previous day that you didn't get to. So let me do that for tomorrow. So I've got all of these, and it asks, do you want to roll over your tasks to tomorrow? Yeah, but normally that would be today, just to show you what that looks like. And then you can also pick tasks. So let's say I don't want to roll over that one. I can roll over the 2 others. Boom, done. And then you can go through the steps, telling me again, I have way too much work going on. Great. And it looks good. Get started. So that's kind of the daily rituals. Next, we have the weekly planning and the weekly review. So let's start with weekly planning. So right here, you'll see kind of your previous week's objectives. And then you have this week's objectives. Normally this will be blank. And again, it'll ask you if you want to like bring over anything that wasn't done. I don't know if I can. Okay, yeah. So like if I undo this one, it says, do you want to continue working on this? And you can click continue. But since I already did that, I'll just check that off. And then we can hit next. And again, it shows you your weekly objectives. You can post this in Slack if you want. And then otherwise you can hit done, and then you're ready for your week. Let's say you're done with your week and you want to review what happened in the week. Then we can go back to here and then review. This stuff automatically happens if you're using it. I'm just going into the file to show you this, but it should automatically come up and let you do this. So this is weekly objectives, this is reviewing from last week. And it kind of gives you a breakdown of how much time you spent on things. And you can see right here, I brought in something from ClickUp. And so it gives you a really easy way to open up in your project management tool. And it kind of shows you some of the subtasks in there, what the estimated time in ClickUp was. So super convenient. So it shows how many hours you logged, basically breaks down what those hours were spent on so that you can get like a bird's eye view of what you're doing in a week. Super helpful to kind of get some of that feedback. So for example, I noticed that I planned an hour for editing and publishing a podcast. However, it took me 2 hours and 11 minutes. So maybe I was a little optimistic. So next week, maybe I should budget at least 2.5 hours. That way I know that I've got enough time to complete that. And then here, writing the YouTube script only took me an hour. So next time I can maybe cut that down a little bit. So super helpful information. And then next, you have your week review. Again, you can post that directly to Slack if you want. And then you click wrap up, and that's your week in review. One of my favorite features is the focus mode. So you can either highlight over a task and then click F on your keyboard, and you're brought into this focus mode where the only thing you'll see is that task. You don't get any distractions. So there's no reason why you should be avoiding this task. And then you can start the timer and track how much time it's taking you. And you can do that for subtasks as well, so that you can see how long the project takes for you. So super useful information. So hopefully you can use that to your advantage. And then you can also throw in the break there if you want to take a break, and then pick up right where you left, and it starts the timer right where the last task went. So we're going to close that up, and you get kind of like a review of like anything that you've changed on the task. You can add notes to it right here. They've got a few different options for what you can put in. So that's super convenient. And they've got the ability to repeat tasks, duplicate, align with objective. I love the keyboard shortcut R. So you can easily click R, and then you can even turn it into objective if it's not already one. And then you'll see that, again, that purple target. Purple target indicates that it's aligned with a weekly objective. So you can make sure that you're working towards those goals. So like this one, I didn't align yet. Boom, it's aligned now. Perfect. And so that's kind of a review of that. And again, with integrations, you have Google Calendar, which is probably the most important. Then you have Asana, ClickUp, so you can easily bring in tasks from Asana right into your calendar, and they give you kind of the weekly update of things that they've added, improved, so that you can tell that they're actively working on improving this. It's really nice. Here we have the search functionality, so we can easily type in maybe a task, and we can see the results right here. And then here you have the archive again and your backlog. And you can actually divide it if you want to become a little bit more granular. This is probably personal. And then right here, you have any other integrations that you might want to use. For example, they have GitHub, Jira, not sure how to say that, Trello, Todoist, Gmail, Notion, and Outlook. So super convenient if you need to integrate with any of those. Easy way to integrate. So the sidebars are super useful. Don't underestimate them. Right now we're in the Mac app, but the experience in the browser is basically the same. So you can use it on your web browser. Great. They also have a mobile app, which is available, and it's pretty good. I would say, like, you don't get all of the features. So you might be missing a couple features that you have in the main version, but to be honest, it's enough if you just want to track something and just kind of see what's happening. And so that's just a convenient thing to have. Next up, I just want to share my favorite keyboard shortcuts. Shortcuts are a great way of speeding up your process inside of Sunsama, or any app for that matter. But here in the main view, you can hit Tab and then switch to the calendar view. And you can hit Tab again to switch back to tasks. And underneath calendar, you can change the view. So maybe you want month view. You can just hit month and then you get the month view. And then maybe you want 3 days, so you can see that as well. Super easy to switch between the views. But for now, I just want the week view. So let me go back to tasks. And then if you want to quickly add a task, all you have to hit is A. A is add a task. And so call the president of tacos. And so I'm going to take an hour to call him. Enter, done. So that's a nice one. And then you can hit Q if you highlight over a task, and then you can assign the channel, or you can also use the hashtag mark to do that as well. And then I believe it's tilde. Tilde allows you to set the plan time. So I can go in here, set the plan time. W also works that way. So plan time, you can just hit W and put that in, done. Let's say you went a long time ahead and you want to get back to today. You just hit T. T for today. It actually has its own view. So that's really nice. So let's say you want to reduce the noise of all that's happening. Just hit T. You can just see your day. And you can, again, you got all of your sidebar basically here and all that you need for the day. So you can close that up. And the next one is F for focus mode. We kind of looked at it a little bit, but that brings you right into that task and you can start the timer, take a break, all that good stuff. Next up is shift and space bar. It resets your view to the day. So that one just brings you back to the proper day. So we're way ahead. So instead of hitting the today up here, you can just hit shift space bar back to where you need to be. Space bar will start and stop the timer. So I highlighted over that task and hit space bar and it brought me right into it. So that's convenient. And escape, obviously, to get out of things. The next one is to do the smart auto schedule. If I make a task, design website, and we're gonna say it's going to take us 1 hour, and I wanna schedule that automatically, I'm just gonna hit X, and then boom, it just gets like the next time slot. So that's a great way to auto schedule your day. Like you just go from your most important, and then you can just plan it. And so, like for example, I plan tomorrow that I'll film the YouTube video first thing since that's the most important thing, and then create sales page, hit X again, it just schedules that right after it. So if I go to the calendar view now, you'll see that it already filled those in and it already has the color coordinated to the channels sections that you have. Super convenient. So we're gonna hit tab, go back to the main view. Next up is P and O. And basically those just bring up the daily planning and the daily shutdown. So we already reviewed those, so you're good. But those are some of my favorite shortcuts. And you can also toggle on and off the calendar views. Like maybe you want only certain calendars showing. And so you can just hit those and it will turn on and off those calendars so that you can see only the ones that matter to you. Let's say I want to take out the holidays. You'll notice that it takes away the holiday, and then you can take off the main event. Boom, they're all gone, because right now I have it set so that all the tasks that I have will go to my main calendar. That's an overview of the app. There's so much like functionality that you can take advantage of. Highly recommend checking it out and seeing if it's right for you. The link in the description will give you a free 30-day for you to check it out. And again, I recommend that you use my link just because if you go to the website, I believe it might be like a 14-day free trial. So if you want a bit longer to play around with it, check it out, see if it's right for you, just use the link in the description. Now the big problem. What's the big problem with Sunsama? I would say the biggest problem with it is its price. It is a great app. I mean, it makes it very convenient for planning your day and not having to get bogged down with a bunch of different, your calendar, your project management software, your to-do list. It kind of just puts it all right in the place. But here is the kicker. It's the pricing. So if we go to the pricing, It costs $16 per month billed annually, or monthly, it'll be $20 per month billed monthly. Again, they have the free 14-day trial on the website, but if you use my link in the description, you'll get 30 days, so why not get an extra month? Like, a month is a good amount of time to try out something and make sure it's working for you. So that's something to keep in mind, is the price. If you use it enough and it's helping you get more done, it could be worth that price tag. Let's say you hired a personal assistant. $16 a month isn't bad for a personal assistant that will help you stay on top of your day. So something to keep in mind is the price tag, but I think it might be worth it. Personally, I'm not sure if I'll be able to afford it right now, but I definitely think it's a fantastic app for anyone that can. So highly recommend just giving it a try, see if it works for you, see if it fits in your budget, and go from there. So who is Sunsama for? Someone that loves the minimalist design of Sunsama, someone that appreciates the ability to set realistic tasks and goals for the week. That way you don't plan too much, and it just helps you plan out your day a little bit more realistic than trying to cram as much as you can, fill your to-do list bucket. Instead, it's like focusing on the most important tasks. I think Sunsama does a great job with it. Highly recommend it. And so it's a powerful tool that I think can help you stay better organized and on task. It's one of those apps that I'm a super fan of, big fan of the app. And I think they're doing great work, and I'm super excited to see where this goes. And again, I'm gonna say this, I would love to see the ability to plan out quarter goals and then also year goals. So Sunsama, if you're listening, let's see if we can add that to the app. It's already great, but I think we can make it even better. So despite the price, it gets my thumbs up. I would recommend it. Let me know in the comments what productivity tool you currently are using and whether or not you plan to check out Sunsama. Would love to hear from you. And until next time, my friends, stay techie.
Let me quickly share 3 of my criteria for Let me know in the comments what productivity tool you love, and let me know in the comments what productivity... Okay, that's good enough. It's a wrap.